Miss Catherine, rather out of breath, eyed the rabbit. He was very fat. He winked at Miss Catherine, pointed at the ferrets, made a bow, and turned to go home. Now, why could not Kitty have the sense to go home too? It is true that Winky Peeps would have been there, so there would have been 2 black cats, but she might have stayed quietly at cheese boxes until dark. No, I fear Miss Catherine was a born poacher. Nothing would serve her, but she must follow that rabbit. The rabbit at first took no notice. Then he became uneasy and hid behind trees. Miss Kitty could see the tips of his ears. Whenever he stopped, she lifted her gun. The rabbit opened his umbrella and set off again. It bobbited along under the bushes like a live mushroom. Miss Kitty followed and followed. The rabbit led her round and round, till at length they came back to another part of the same wall. He shut his umbrella, waved it defiantly, took a long jump off the top of the wall, and disappeared. Miss Kitty, avoiding all risks of drains and took a too, not quite so much up. She came down flop in another of Mr. Tod's traps, caught by both toes across a lovely fur-lane boots. She had a cat, and then sat still. Mickey sat. She said. The mouse wall was all in the back. It was not really hurt, but so very, very fast. She sat there all night, her green cat eyes peered in the hole. And it was not a cat, but couldn't keep it. But there was no answer. It was very sad. Mickey ought not to have gone out on slide. Serve her right. It seemed plain she would have to remain in trap till the person who had set it let her out. And when he arrived, it was Mr. Tod, the fox. "Oh, ho," said Mr. Tod, getting over the wall and throwing down a rather bulging bag. "Oh, ho! Is this the rest of the black catskin muff?" Miss Kitty shivered. "It seems to match," said Mr. Tod, opening the bag. It contained mole and furs of various sorts, and he drew out half of a fine, thick black cat's tail. "A complete set of furs," said Mr. Tod, edging up towards Miss Kitty. "Gently, gently, madam," cried Mr. Tod, skipping over the wall. "I was only going to release you from your uncomfortable position. Allow me to push forward the catch of the... Oh, that pellet went through my coat sleeve." Mr. Tod's nerves were thoroughly upset. "Madam, I beg you to put that down. Allow me to unfasten the trap and pick up my bag." The bag, thought Miss Kitty. He dare not come for it. I have only 5 pellets left, but he does not know that. Mr. Tod and Miss Kitty argued all day. In the evening, Mr. Tod went off. "Perhaps you may have come to your senses before morning, madam." Kitty sat disconsolately in the trap and eyed the bag. The bag wobbled, turned over, and rolled within reach of Kitty. "Winky Peeps?" inquired Kitty in a horrified whisper. "Oh, sir, if you please, it's only me. Oh, please let me out. I'm nearly smothered." Kitty unstrapped the bag, which contained 5 moleskins, a brown and white fur of good quality but unpleasant smell, half a cat's tail, 2 young rabbits, partly eaten, and a hedgehog. "Oh, sir, I'm that grateful." "Ma'am, Miss Catherine St. Quintin, you do my washing." "Why, Mum, Miss Squintums, is it you? Whatever is the matter?" "I'm fast by the feet, and I'm awfully hungry." Mrs. Tiggy Winkle jerked up her prickles. "You wouldn't go to eat me, Mum. not to mention the washing. Indeed I wouldn't and couldn't, Mrs. Tiggywinkle. Do pray help me to get loose. A knave he is, mum, that Tod. Now let me put a little stone in the hinge of the trap, and we'll try to unlace your boots. It was a painful struggle, but at length Miss Kitty, with the loss of one toe, wriggled out, leaving her boots in the trap. It was of less consequence, as she immediately threw away her coat and gun. "Never again will I poach," said Miss Kitty. She limped home and into the drawing-room. There upon the hearth-rug sat Winky-Peeps, wrapped in a shawl, with sticking-plaster on his tail. Kitty chose to look upon Winky-Peeps as the cause of her misfortunes. She rushed upon him, and they fought all over the drawing-room. For the rest of her days, Kitty was a little lame, but it was an elegant limp, and she found quite enough occupation about the yard, catching mice and rats, varied by tea-parties with respectable cats in the village, such as Ribby and Tabitha Twitchit. But Winky-Peeps lived in the woods. This is Helen Mirren. We hope you have enjoyed this unabridged production of The Tale of Kitty and Boots by Beatrix Potter. This program was produced and directed by Karen Jagonski. The engineer was Charles de Montebello. Text copyright 2016, Frederick Warne and Company. Production copyright 2016, Penguin Random House LLC. All rights reserved.